Welcome to Story Punk. I am Scott.
Je suis Drew.
Oh, very.
That's literally the only French you're going to hear in this movie. This movie from France.
From France. Yes. So today, the movie that we're going to talk about and discuss is Vincent Must Die, which is from France. And sorry, it's a stupid accent. And this movie is, just to give you a little idea of what it's about.
Was it the last in a series we've been doing?
No, it's not. Next week's the last in the series.
What's the next one?
Normal.
Oh, that's right.
That's the last one. Yes, that'll be a good one. And that one's only an hour and 34 minutes, which I'm like, I mean, I am all for a long movie, but well, you know, when we said this before, we like a movie that's as long as it needs to be.
That's it, yeah.
But if we can, I mean, just like much like the movie Nobody, I was like, oh, this hit the spot. It's almost like a nice little snack. You know what I mean? You're like, this hits the spot. Perfect.
That's why Nobody 2 does the exact same thing.
There you go. They're like, here we go. It's not broken. Yeah. So we're not going to try to fix it. But anyway, this movie is about character, as you can probably tell.
From a movie about a character.
A character.
Is his name Charlie?
Title is named Vincent.
Oh.
He finds himself under attack for no apparent reason overnight. When the phenomenon intensifies, he must go on the run and change his way of life completely. So that's sort of the very basic setup here. This guy,
is it like The Crazies, but they never explain it?
I guess. I mean, like it's definitely, but I mean, it's different. I mean, it's definitely a unique premise, and this is the whole reason why I was interested in it. There was back around Halloween of this past year, 2025. This was released here in the U.S. It came out in France in 2023. This was released here in U.S. as a part of a double feature with a movie called Hallow Road, and that was something that and I saw it and I was like, well, this is an interesting premise. It's like one day this guy wakes up and, you know, people just want to kill him. He doesn't understand why.
Well, only if they look at him.
Well, yeah, well, we're going to get into that. So, but
I just think it's funny. Like, if they notice you, only after they notice you do you have to die. I'm like, wow, that's really judgy.
So, well, I mean, it's the whole eye contact thing.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I mean, this is obviously, and this really fits in with the idea of Psycho Summer. If the idea of that is a hunted protagonist, well, this is definitely the ultimate hunted protagonist. Except there's really no hunter. It's just everybody. Everybody's potentially a hunter.
I was just glad he didn't spend a lot of the movie looking in the mirror because he could have hurt himself.
Yeah, well, so that's, how'd you like that? The when he was sewing himself, I was like, ooh.
Well, he was told by a guy, you need to learn how to do your own stitches
yes,
and
he
stuff
was.
because you can't go to the hospital. It's too dangerous.
Yes, that would be.
What do they call themselves? Sentinels?
Yeah, sentinels.
Like X-Men.
Yes. Well, not exactly like X-Men. And this the director is
French.
Yes, French. Stéphan Castang. The Vincent is played by Karim Leklou. And
so it's
Margot?
really quite a good performance, I think.
Yeah, and Margot is Vamala Pons. So there, that's the main players here.
If you'd rather, we can go back to Hindi names.
No, this is fine. So
what's the name of this movie in French?
It's like Vincente Morte.
Vincente is the Italian title. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Vincent doit mourir.
I slid into my Italian there.
It's Vincent
I'm
doit.
the master of accents.
Vincent doit mourir, which is thank you, Madame Shapiro, for my high school French. I would do it in a Quebecois French accent, but I respect her too much to try to do that.
No, that's very nice.
Because it sounds horrible.
So the idea here is that when the protagonist Vincent, when he looks at someone, and it's very important. Eye contact is apparently what triggers this. It makes someone want to attack him. So in a sense, so every kind of every gaze is almost like it's almost like a loaded weapon, and potentially, and it's when you think about it, it's sort of like it does sort of. I guess it's sort of a metaphor for like the breakdown of like civilization, and you kind of realize that we sort of have these and there are good rules that are just understood. They're so basic, is that that for the most part, we're civilized. Just going through your normal life. I mean, like obviously, when you start engaging with people, that can change. But just merely passing someone on the street, most cases, people are going to be civilized. I would say there might be special circumstances that might change that, but I think that's sort of let's just say that's the idea. That's the social contract of the world, is that we, you let people just kind of do their thing. And I mean, maybe that's not exactly what I mean, but what I'm saying is I wrote this out, and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, maybe that's not exactly. Maybe I worded it strangely, but the idea is that just in general.
Did you try writing it in French?
No, I should have. But the idea is that just in a civilized society is that we're going to live our lives, and we're not going to attack each other. We're just going to have you pass someone on the street, and then they pass you, and whatever. It's and that's sort of, like I said, I guess that's the social contract part that I'm talking about. Is that?
Well, yeah, no, we all agree this is what a red light means, this is what a green light means, and that keeps us from driving into each other. The only place that doesn't apply apparently is the 4-way stop near my house, but that's because you have to put your phone down and pay attention. Yeah, but this is one of those movies initially on a smaller scale than like Dawn of the Dead or something, that shows you how fragile it all is.
Yeah. It's sort of like where this gets turned on that idea gets turned on its head, where it's like every every engagement, especially visually, is the potential start of some kind of violent attack. To be hyperbolic, is an act of war almost. You know what I mean? Like on another person.
It is like a blitzkrieg in level intensity of attack. Like, I'm not going to hit you with my laptop. I'm going to keep hitting you with my laptop. I'm not going to stab you with my pencil. I'm going to keep stabbing you with my pencil. It's part of what the performance of Vincent that works is he just seems like a regular guy, just kind of a schlub. And if somebody started attacking you, you would try to get away. Yeah. But nobody turns into a ninja or something. Yeah, he's just like I don't understand what's happening. I don't believe this is happening. Yeah. I just want to cover my face with my arms, kind of thing. And that feels very real, and he feels very vulnerable because he is.
Because everybody has this fantasy that in every potential threatening scenario that you're going to be this action hero and you're going to know what to do. But sometimes things come like, I mean, if you've ever seen like something out there on social media where something happens, like there's an unexpected like explosion or something like that, like there is always that momentary confusion where people are like, wait a minute, what is actually going on? Right. And I mean, and I think that's a very real situation.
Yeah. See, I don't have that like fantasy that something will pop off and I'll be an action star. That's why I always bring an extra pair of underpants.
Yeah. I mean, I do say that I do feel like most of the time I can perform like capably in an emergency situation, but I'm not going to say that it's like the moment something happens, I'm springing into action. I mean, sometimes, but once I assess the situation, I'm usually, I think about like, well, my oldest son, when he was younger, and he went to sit down. He went to sit down on a chair that was right next to this like heavy coffee table we have, and he missed the chair and smacked. So he's like 6, 7 years old, smacks his head.
So too old to give back.
Huh?
Too old to give back. I don't know that much about kids.
Give back.
Like to return him because he can't sit in a chair.
No. So he falls, smacks the back of his head.
Oof.
And it was funny because we used to get his hair cut really short and we were letting it grow out. So I couldn't tell. So he came over, he's crying. I figured, banged his head. You know what? I'll just check him out and send him on his way. And he comes over and I look and I see all this blood. And I'm like, oh no. And it was one of those things where you're just like, take a second and then, I remember we were in our basement because we have like a setup in our basement, and he was playing a video game. That's what happened. He was a little too into his video game. Sits down. I'm on my computer, and I turn around, and when he comes over, and I see it, and I was like, oh, this isn't just like give him a kiss on the forehead,
Yeah,
pat him on the
it's not
back,
a little
go on
bump,
your way.
yeah.
This was like, oh shit, this is actually serious. And I couldn't tell because his hair had grown out. I couldn't tell how bad it was. And I just know the head wounds tend to bleed.
Right. Well, they tend to bleed worse than they are, but it's your kid.
Yeah,
don't
so I
blame
was
you for
like-
being frightened.
And
Yeah.
I just remember there was something about it. Like I felt all of a sudden kind of felt like this calmness kind of fall. And I talked to my wife, and I'm like, Jane, I said, don't freak out. I said, but let's call an ambulance because I didn't want to have him in the car. I didn't know how bad
Well,
the
you don't need
injury
to
was.
mess up your upholstery.
Well, the thing is that you don't. I didn't know how bad it was.
Of course,
I
it's
didn't
a
know
head
how
injury.
much blood is coming
Yeah.
out, and I don't want to pass out while I'm
Yeah,
driving.
you're
into
not
the-
messing around. You do the right thing.
But it was like,
Then you can
but
do,
I wasn't like
you could do chair training later. So.
I wasn't doing I wasn't hopping into action and performing first aid or anything like that. I had no illusions of that.
But it would have been weird if he hit his head, he came over, he's like, Dad, and then he's bleeding, and you're like, CPR.
Heimlich. He's like, Dad, I didn't eat anything.
I've done the Heimlich maneuver multiple times on human beings and dogs, and only when they were choking, and that felt like, and so far successfully.
good.
And that felt like the appropriate, timely response in that situation. So I'm glad that you didn't have your child fall, bleed out of his scalp, and then you're
Whack him on
like,
the
I
back.
need to definitely do the Heimlich.
No, yeah, but so to kind of bring
I'll
it
teach
back.
you how to do it on a dog later.
Okay, to bring it back to this is that I do feel like it's I did feel like that part was a little realistic because he was like, because I know a lot of people would probably watch and see. I think we're trained almost as a moviegoers and just the way that movies tend to work. You know, he gets hit in the face in the very beginning, and intern hits him with a laptop, and you're like, hey, like, do something back to him, and like the fact that he kind of like covers his face and he's like he's confused, and he's like, I think that was very real.
Well, also it only stops because some of his colleagues who are as shocked,
Yeah.
then they stand up and grab this kid and pull him off.
Yeah.
Like he does not run away safely and escape, and he does not fight back
Yeah.
or stop it. Fortunately, he's not alone, but then it becomes very clear, like, this is clearly an HR issue. You should work from home after it happens again, kind of thing. Like there's some funny stuff.
Yeah,
in
the
movie.
beginning part is, I did. I mean, for me personally, I felt that the way that the movie does. I mean, I do have some problems with later parts of the movie, but when the way that it sort of gradually transitions into a different type of movie, I felt like it was successful, at least for me, in doing that. I definitely like the beginning, like when he makes the joke that falls totally flat about the intern giving him coffee, like that was so like that, and the guy talking about you had the guy talking about the weird dream in the beginning about, and he's like, oh yeah, and in the misunderstanding with the HR complaint when the guy goes, are you gonna file a complaint, and the guy that attacked him goes, oh no, I'm not gonna file a complaint. He's like, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah,
I'm talking
right.
to the guy that got attacked. I'm
But
talking to Vincent.
don't forget though, when the people that have attacked him, they've no memory.
Well, no, I know.
of it.
Well,
but it's
hold on. Let me finish the thought. You're going on to another thing. What I was trying to say was that part reminded me very much of like The Office, and that's the vibe I got from that. So, but then to your point, what you were saying about, yes, they once the eye contact's no longer there's no eye contact established, then they're kind of like what did I do? That guy in the he's like, I'm just not like that.
But you feel badly for them. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, that guy definitely does not, like, you don't know what's going on, but it seems to have come out of nowhere and then disappeared just as quickly. And they seem really confused. And it's not the kind of movie where you think very quickly there's some sort of conspiracy and everybody is working together. It's like, no, it's like almost like a sickness or something.
And that, yeah, well, that's the thing about it is you're kind of like, once you realize that there's something going on, like after the second attack, and then you also have the scene where he it's very where it becomes sort of like crystal clear there's something weird going on here. It's when he's out on the date,
And not just weird because it's French.
yeah. Well, there's nobody naked running on a beach, so there was that, which I was very surprised and disappointed as well.
Yeah.
But they
Now I want to watch Betty Blue again, which is weird and has nudity.
So anyway, he goes on a date with this woman. It's like the first time they met. I'm assuming probably it was some kind of
Yeah, it looks
dating
like
app
they met on
situation.
an app. Yeah.
And he's talking to this woman, and although he's a little bit too forthcoming about what actually happened to him, because if I was on a first date with someone, I would never be telling them about like I got attacked at work. Like I'd be like,
You say I hit my head when I was sliding underneath that truck to save those puppies.
There you go.
Like what the hell?
But when you clearly
I leapt into action.
when you clearly know there's something wrong or something strange is going on, is that there's a homeless person. I'm assuming homeless.
It looks like
An unkept man is on the street. Looks.
you don't say unkept, you say unhoused.
I said unkempt.
Oh, I thought you said unkept, and I was like,
No,
he's
not unkept.
He's not owned.
No,
I was
no, unkempt.
Unkempt. Okay.
I don't think I pronounced that.
He did look unkempt. That's
He did.
true.
He looked very unkempt, but he looks at Vincent through. He's out on the street while Vincent is inside this restaurant, and you see his face kind of like drops, and then he starts. It's almost like it follows kind of thing.
Yeah,
right? It's like
that's the vibe that I got out of it.
Yeah, he starts coming right towards him, and then what happened? I'm going to say thankfully, which is not thankfully for the guy that got hit, but he gets hit by a car, and that's what's. And then he's like, I gotta go. He's freaked out.
Really unkempt after that.
Yeah, I would say so.
Meanwhile, we never find out, like, did that guy die?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know.
And it doesn't.
We stay very focused on the main character.
Yeah.
Who is very passive, but not in a way that makes you disappointed in him.
Yeah.
He's very passive in a way that's very relatable, like what is happening. Because this movie, is not long after this, it has one of the most entertaining things that can happen in a movie, which is when an adult person, usually a man, fights children.
Yes.
And these children are kind of kicking his ass.
Yeah.
But it's plausible. Like, he doesn't want to hit them because they're children, but also they are completely savage, like these other people who just attack him.
Well,
So-
the thing about that too, and this is probably jumping a little bit ahead of my notes, but this works out fine here as a good spot to bring it up, is that this premise to this movie is it does bring up a lot of interesting scenarios. Like, one, if you look at kids and the kids attack you, what the hell are you supposed to do? Nobody's going to believe that the kids attacked you. Everybody's going to think that you did it.
I think you know what to do because we learned that from Ready or Not.
Yeah.
When you say hi, Georgie, and then he shoots you in the hand, you punch him in the face.
But this is obviously in the context here. These kids were just playing. They're just playing.
Listen,
soccer.
I saw Step Brothers. Okay,
Yeah.
Those kids, they can be really mean.
I don't think these kids were really mean. I don't know. The point is, it does bring up an interesting situation where it's like, okay, so what happens if you find yourself in that situation? Like, if you were thinking of it in terms of like, well, this is
The movie feels real. That's why you're asking.
So
me.
that's what I'm saying. So there's that. What do you do when you want to? You go to order food. You can't go in somewhere, and you have to have somebody either deliver it, or you go to pick it up, but you can't really look at them. Then what happens?
Or you could wear sunglasses.
I mean, you could wear sunglasses. I mean, I saw that somebody had said that that's out there. I mean, that's possible, but technically, like, you have to? That's the thing we don't know. Do you have to actually see their eyes? Do you just have to look at them? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, they never fully explain the rules, and you don't need it because you are stuck in his perspective the whole time. So he meets another guy later, which we'll talk about, that basically says, it's real, here's what's going on, here's what I do. But that guy doesn't know everything either.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting when you are put in a situation too, like something like I hadn't really thought about, but it's like you can't make eye contact, and he runs into like a police stop, like, what the fuck? You can't. They're going to think something's up if you're not looking in their face, but you really can't. And there's a bunch of police officers there, so like, what are you going to do? And so it does bring up a sort of it's interesting scenario.
But also, like, and this is like, is autism a survival skill in this?
I know that's what
it's
somebody.
interesting.
I said, like, people, much like Canadians go, well, Breaking Bad wouldn't make a difference here. I almost feel like if I was autistic, this situation would be a breeze. You know what I mean? I don't want to make eye contact.
I thought of that, and I was like, that if you avoid social contact in that specific way.
Or even if you were deeply introverted.
And I'm not, and I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, disabilities are secret superpowers or nonsense. But I was like, you would be surprisingly an oasis of safety if you really, like, a very big part of your interaction with people, if you had to interact with them, was I will not look into your eyes, because that seems to be,
the expectation was that you weren't going to make eye contact.
But like that seems to be the specific trigger of the violence.
I do think it's interesting too when he goes to. And this is one of those things that we talked about. I think we were talking about just like how there's so much therapy stuff out there. I remember we were talking about bodies, and we were talking about
my favorite.
Yeah, there you go. Like the things that when he's with the therapist, and the therapist is almost like gaslighting him into thinking like maybe you're the problem.
Yep.
Maybe you're trying to do this because you want attention.
Yeah, it's unkind.
I know. It was like, this guy is not a good therapist.
Like the guy at that point has wounds.
Yeah,
from multiple incidents.
It's like, yeah, and he did it
even if the therapist is like, nobody likes your face. Like that's not serving your patient.
I know. And it does, and that's the thing too, is that at this point we are kind of like, you're starting to wonder. By the time he gets to his father's house, because at this point, the first time he meets with his father, he
has to leave the city.
Yeah, he has to leave the city because he's gotten into the fight with the children. He had the woman almost run him over with his bike.
The very friendly grandma-looking lady, who smiled at him until she looked into his eyes, and then
she was like,
"They were like, uh-oh,
fuck you up." But she actually runs over his bike.
Mm-hmm.
She does run over his bike.
It's actually not clear.
Yeah.
His bike seems to fall in the street, and he throws himself away out of the street, and then the car goes by, but you don't actually hear a crunch or see anything. I feel like there was some weird edit that was missing or something. And as I think about it right now, I honestly can't remember if you ever see him on the bike again. So.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because when he leaves the city, he takes a cab to get out to his dad's house. So
there you go.
Anyway, who knows?
Or an Uber.
Uber. Oui. So anyway, there is and I did like this is one of those things where I was really kind of like vibing with it. I was getting into it, this idea when he meets. So at this one point in the story where Vincent meets this guy. This guy kind of notices how Vincent is behaving at a gas station, and he he's intentionally not making eye contact, and he approaches him while Vincent is like outside, just like eating outside the gas station, and he approaches him and says, "Hey," like basically this is where he starts getting a little bit of the mythology.
Yeah, I was going to say the lore,
very little,
lore, but yeah,
very little lore.
The guy doesn't know much, but I don't remember. How does he know he needs to talk to Vincent about that?
Well, he notices that Vincent is like
just from Vincent's behavior. He
said, I noticed that you like. Is that okay? The way he was moving around the I guess like the convenience store part of the gas station, and how he wasn't looking the cashier in the eye. So I guess that's how he knew. I also do wonder if he was tipped off because the dogs.
That's the other question. Yeah, dogs are useful in the movie.
Dogs seem to know when an attack is imminent, and if he had a dog, he tells Vincent, this guy tells Joaquin, tells him to.
The guy has his dog with him.
Yeah, he has his dog with him, so maybe the dog wasn't growling, and that's how he knew he was safe too. That's very possible.
It's funny though, because the dog growling when there's trouble becomes less useful over the course of the movie as like dozens of people run at him. I'm like, no, I get it. I get it. I'm in trouble.
Because there was that one part where he's
going to show Margot like this is real. You mean when he goes to the store? Is that what you're talking about?
No. The part where when he first gets the dog. The dog's named Sultan, by the way.
Sultan,
and they're on the beach, and then he's like sitting, and the dog does like a little low growl, and he looks over, and it's a whole freaking family coming at him.
That was the most It Follows moment.
Yeah,
because they didn't run at him; they just started walking at him.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Later, they run at him.
The two kids had their shovels,
right?
Like they're probably the plastic shovels.
Yeah, it was good though.
But you were like, "Uh oh, there's a problem," and thankfully, and here I'll give a little bit of a spoiler for those that are concerned about this type of thing. I actually put this, and because I spoiler tagged my Letterboxd review. The dog does make it to the end.
Oh yeah, I had to look it up on Does the Dog Die?
Yeah. I was because I didn't want anyone to. I was very concerned because when I realized there was a dog in this movie, and then I had suggested this movie to Drew, I was like, oh my god, I hope nothing bad. I think this is French, so anything could go. They might hurt the dog.
That's true.
And so
they might do all kinds of things with the dog that would be inappropriate or culinary or whatever.
I don't
know if you noticed, France is in Europe. And they do weird stuff over there.
Well, I wasn't going there. I just didn't know. Sometimes their tolerance for
animal violence.
But
for animal violence,
the tolerance for what they might. I'm not talking about in real life. I'm talking about what they might show in the cinema. Might be. I don't know.
I mean, if they have animal violence in a movie,
I've seen some French movies, but
if they have animal violence to animals in a movie, and John Wick makes it right,
sure,
it's okay. It's still painful to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of any kind of. And thankfully, and to be honest with you, if you have any kind of anxiety about animals, in like the dog's never really in any jeopardy. Thankfully, I kept waiting for I'm like, oh my god, they're not going to do something where like the dog, like you're worried, like is the dog going to live, kind of.
Well,
thing.
Part of it is also the dogs are good alarms for the people who are the victims of this.
Yes.
The people who are attacking you, none of them plan it. It's not like it's not like there's any part of what's happening
There's
to
no
these people where somebody's going to say, "There's that guy, we have to attack him, but we got to outsmart that dog first."
Yes.
Or, there's nothing. It's all the same exact thing that you see at the beginning in his office. It's like a weird automatic violence that switches on and then switches off.
So I have to say a little thing about. Can I tell you a little bit of trivia about?
You can tell me, but only in French.
Okay. So
Perfect.
Anyway,
tell me about the chien.
So Sultan is played by Susie, who is a great Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
Yeah, she is.
And
adorable.
That dog won it was apparently there is a Can Palm Dog Awards.
Oh, really?
Yes. In 2023.
That's funny.
They had, I think 2023 was apparently the first year, and Susie was nominated for Highly Commended Canine Prize. Oh, no. Oh, she won. I'm sorry. I thought she, and so she was up against apparently the dog from Anatomy of a Fall, which I did not see. So.
It began in 2001.
Oh, 2001.
And
okay.
management of it changed in 2023.
Okay.
But it's been around for a long time. Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah. So there you go. So that is, if you want to know, that is definitely.
Look, in 2003, Bruno won for Triplets of Belleville.
Okay.
I can support that. He's an animated dog, but he is very important in that movie.
I don't know. Some people might feel like that's cheating, but
Well, it's all acting. So.
There you go. Acting, as John Lovitz would say.
Acting. And of course, unanimous winner in 2008, Lucy from Wendy and Lucy.
I don't even.
That's the Michelle Williams is homeless with her dog movie that Kelly Reichardt did.
Oh God!
And she needs to get out of this town to get to Alaska to get to work, but she can't figure out what to do with her dog that she loves. That's the whole movie. It is
a fun movie,
devastating. And I don't usually have the patience for Kelly Reichardt movies. That one. I don't mean to use the technical film criticism language, but that movie fucked me up. It's very good, but I also have not watched it again.
So we talked about the.
Oh, and they gave it to the fox in Antichrist.
Oh, Jesus.
It says on Wikipedia, the fox rules were bent. You know what that makes me say? Apparently that year chaos reigned.
Oh, there you go. So the way that this movie works is very much like a lot of these. There is a sort of this. The escalation of things. So we talked about how you have these interactions at work. Then he even has an interaction with a neighbor across the street. That was that one and the homeless person. Those were the ones that was where they made it most clear that there's something weird going on, because with the guy across the street that's smoking the cigarette out on the balcony when or is this some kind of open stairwell thing? When you see him actually his face go slack. He's smoking a cigarette. He drops the cigarette. So that's kind of reinforces the idea that you saw, because with the homeless person, you could have been like, well, maybe he had some kind of, there's some kind of mental, intellectual issue that's going on there. But this is like, okay, now we have two people, and it's very obvious, I think, like the way they did it with the cigarette, where he's in the middle of smoking a cigarette, like he just lit up, and then he just drops it, and he starts throwing things at Vincent. It makes it very clear that you're like, okay, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing that they. So let me back up just a little bit here. This movie is very obviously using a similar type, and I say similar, not exactly, but similar type like framing, like zombie kind of movie framing.
Yeah, that's why I thought about the Crazies when I was watching it.
Yeah, so
except I liked the Crazies.
And they go into like this when they start going into this like idea about like the mythology with the Sentinels, and they start kind of going further away from like the comedy. That's like, I was really interested in that. Like, and I kind of feel like they just like, they start to abandon that and go more into the zombie direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little disappointed in that part of it. I kind of feel like where the switch, like, and I don't know, tell me where you think. I feel like the switch was sort of around the septic fight.
Yeah, that was gross.
It was. I know he's throwing up. I'm like, well, I'd be throwing up too. I mean,
I didn't say it wasn't realistic.
No,
it was
true.
Gross.
But he gets into it. But there's a guy.
Is that the first guy he kills?
Yeah, because the guy's not even. He's not.
Yeah,
dead
and
first.
he kills him with a hammer or something. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely. I feel like that was sort of the switch, because even when they're fighting in the septic, you're like, okay, this is really gross, but it's a little bit funny because they're basically fighting like in shit, like muddy shit. It's like, and whatever else. And it's sort of like a, so it's like, you're like, this is a little bit funny. It's a little bit gross, a little bit weird.
A lot bit gross.
But a lot bit gross. Yeah, sure. But that is where we start to, that's feel like where we start to pivot. And then once, because what had happened was he goes out because he's trying to get away from people.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes out. This is also like and all zombie movies are kind of like this, like where it's like an infection kind of story, like, so he's trying to get away.
If there's no mall to go to, then you need to get
Exactly.
someplace rural.
So he goes out, and it's like some kind of like cottage or whatever that his father owns. He goes out there, and there's some kind of, the neighbor says, "Hey, your septic's leaking into our."
The woman with the daughter that stares at him,
and there is
him.
for some reason that really gave me like Kubrick vibes, like when she's doing that.
Yeah, it's very Shining.
Yeah. But anyway, so somebody comes out now. Was that guy coming out to fix the septic, or I was a little confused?
I think he was another neighbor who was like, "Hey, it smells like poop," or he was
because he was
passing
he was
by.
Also
or
like
something.
he was also like, "Oh, hey, that."
I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what his function was, but they're in the middle of a conversation. I think Vincent's doing his best not to look at him, and I guess he must catch a glance or something like that. And then the guy goes nuts, tries to kill Vincent. They're literally fighting in this like area on the ground in the backyard that's like,
what's a shit pool?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, the septic tank, the septic system overflows.
I mean, it's so like,
pooled.
I mean, he's like, they are like deep in it, like completely covered. He is
it's pretty gross.
Throwing up while he's fighting,
and it's not. I mean, it's like two guys who aren't fighters fighting, getting tired quickly, in a big like bowl of shit, and so they don't get it. They don't get out of it quickly. It gets all over them. Like, it's gross. Yeah,
it's pretty gross. But that is definitely where I feel like they shifted. And then when they do that, it's like I feel like you kind of get away from the whole like Sentinel thing. Like he's joined this group, this online forum for people that basically find themselves in the same situation. And I don't know if did we make that clear that the guy that he meets that tells him what's going on is in the same situation.
Right.
And there's more people out there, and that's why they all have joined this.
But it's
forum.
not It Follows. He doesn't like have to have sex with Vincent to break the curse. He can't explain it any more than Vincent can. Yeah. And the people online aren't trying to. It doesn't even seem like they're trying to figure it out. They're just like sharing survival tips and
best
sightings
practices.
and best practices and stuff like that.
And
the movie is very low key the whole time.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and they don't really come back to it though. Although I did kind of like I did.
Well,
feel
they do
like
when they start dying, I guess. That's
yes, that it comes back on that part. I did feel like that kind of amped the tension back up because when they start showing he starts getting So towards the end, when it starts getting a little more apocalyptic, more zombie survival mode, and things start going a little crazy, people start dying, and there's this scene like we don't really know. We have no idea what triggered this, but it just seems like one night like. People start like things just change and then people start dying. Like a lot of people are getting attacked now, and he's getting these notifications, and it's saying like these members of this Sentinel forum, like it's saying this person's died. This person,
Yeah,
died.
which is what the hell kind of alert system is that?
Well, I mean,
that's
I'm wondering if there's somebody that is there's somebody that's monitoring. Although that stuff was coming in pretty fast and
Right.
furious, so if they were monitoring.
Like they were Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
It's a little
I mean,
weird.
that is one of those things where you're like, obviously, I think this is where, you're using a little bit of poetic license, dramatic license here.
Yeah,
To amp
my
it up.
problem was that I didn't get into this movie very much.
Uh-huh.
It felt I put in my notes that it somehow sets up the premise, and also makes it feel like nothing's happening for the first 20 minutes. Which is very strange because he gets attacked 4 times in the first 20 minutes. But the whole thing is so low key. It never really quite engaged me. And it doesn't really it's about surviving. It's not about solving the mystery for the character. But the movie never really is interested in explaining it, which meant I never got interested in explaining it, which was weird. Like if I watch a zombie movie, I don't have to know. Unless it becomes part of the mechanics of the specific story, I don't have to know why are there zombies. Okay, that's cool. There's zombies.
Yeah.
Like if you have a movie about a gigantic hurricane that hits someplace, I don't need to know exactly where it came from and what systems came together and what temperature the water was. Like I don't need to know all that kind of stuff. But the movie seems completely disinterested in that.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense because Vincent himself was disinterested.
Yeah.
There was no part of what Vincent was experiencing where he was like, there's going to be a way for me to figure out how to get out of this.
Yeah.
There was like, this is way bigger than anything I can deal with. I am fully in survival mode the entire movie, except for when he meets a nice waitress.
I think that there was for me personally, I can't think of a way that it could have been like a movie like this. If there's going to be an explanation, there has to be some type of easy explanation.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I feel like it's going to
Otherwise you get hung up on rules.
Exactly. And that's
annoying.
that's the thing that kind of bothers me towards the end, because I feel like we have very few rules, and then things kind of get like the story universe kind of gets switched
Well,
at the
he
very
starts
end.
attacking people.
I know, and that's the part that's
yeah.
what to me, like I was fine. Like, see, for me, I feel like the first 50 minutes, I'm like, I like this. I'm into it. I'm digging it. Then after that, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm kind of coasting on like the vibes part of it. I'm okay.
The second half definitely slows down.
Yes,
so.
it's definitely that is can not deny that the story definitely sags, and I feel like for me, I almost feel like this is it's almost like. It's almost like fumbling. It's almost like fumbling.
It'd be great. It'd be a great short film.
Yeah, maybe.
Twilight
But
Zone
I feel like it's
episode
like somebody fumbled at the goal line. Like I was like, okay, like if they just could have made it like a simple kind of ending. I don't know why they switched it up and they.
Well, they
changed
switched. They switched. I think I know why they did it. I don't know that it's a good idea, like you're saying. First of all, the movie is almost 2 hours. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
But I think that the movie switches to the scale of this is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
This is not just happening to this guy and some essentially relatively isolated things, or it's happening to 15 people who get together online to try to survive it. It's happening all over the world, and then it's even happening to him. It becomes more like Bird Box or something, because society is coming apart. That's how I knew this movie wasn't compelling me, because one of my favorite things in movies and horror stuff that makes me personally scared is civil society coming apart.
Yeah.
Like Greenland is a movie about a comet's going to hit the Earth, but it's not about the president and the scientists trying to save Earth. It's about a guy and his wife and his kid trying to get to shelter before the comet hits Earth. So they're in a world where people start to get real shitty to each other really quickly, and all that stuff kind of comes apart. And this movie is ground level like that. But the movie is ground level in his experience until the last part, when it's like an
right
infection
at the
that
end. Yeah.
right, but it's like an infection that suddenly like a whole bunch of people are in a traffic jam. Why are we in a traffic jam? Because they're fighting.
Yeah.
And it started to feel like was this going to be sort of the vibe of what was the name of that movie? It was up for a whole bunch of Oscars about the ship with the wealthy people on the ship and the crew, and then it shipwrecks with all the vomit. What's the name of that movie?
Vomit.
Yeah, it was a big. I'll look it up, but it's like it's a whole thing is a social class parable thing.
I know you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it either.
But you know what I mean?
That's the one where like the doesn't the maid like become sort of like,
right
she's
because
like,
they shipwreck and then she's like, I don't fucking
you're
work
not
for
my
you
boss,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, which is that Rachel McAdams Sam Raimi movie Send Help was kind of about that. But the scale of this movie, without the energy of it, just kind of expands to the whole world is coming apart.
Yeah.
And I think what you're talking about, how it just stops working in that sense for you, to me is the same thing where like he then attacks his girlfriend because there's some funny stuff like I want to have sex with you, but I don't want to attack you, so please handcuff me, like which is probably very French, but it's kind of funny, and the two of them together are just, I don't know, there's something almost kind of sweet about it, and then that gets endangered by him attacking her. But what, like, when it gets to be this whole world thing, I'm like, what is the point? Is this supposed to be some parable about how we relate to each other with great violence online?
I mean, like,
and we should be nicer to each
thinking,
other. Like, it's just. But the thing is, I wasn't that interested in interpreting it. So
I was thinking that maybe this was, trying to draw some parallels to like. Like post-pandemic kind of like, or not post-pandemic, but like to like, COVID pandemic kind of thing where it was sort of like, I mean, I remember like during COVID, at the height of COVID, and you're like, you hear somebody cough, you're like, oh God, you know what I mean?
Or
like,
you see somebody with their mask under their nose. You're like, what's wrong with you? You're such a disgusting person.
You have like such a like,
which you were right, but still.
I mean, like, yeah, you just have like such anxiety over like, these other people might be, now in this case it's they're infecting you with a virus but it's sort of like these people could be potential threats. It's just a weird way to think about things, especially until COVID hit. I never really thought of things in those terms. And that's sort of what you have in this movie, where it's like everybody is a potential threat. And so like I didn't, and like you said, I didn't really need to know all of the details. One of the things I always remember when it comes to that sort of thing, like about not explaining, is the scene in Looper where Joseph Gordon-Levitt as younger Bruce Willis is in with Bruce Willis. He's the younger version of Bruce Willis's character. They're in the cafe, and like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's asking all these questions about like, how does time travel work, and like Bruce Willis's character's like, he goes, do you want a science lesson? He goes, I have a headache and I don't feel like explaining it. And I'm like, it works for me. It works for me. You know what I mean? Like it's,
well, that's what Christopher Nolan did in Tenet when
Tenet, it's a word.
Protagonist is is working with, I can't remember the name of the French actress who's teaching him how bullets can be inverted and stuff. Yeah. He's like, I don't understand the rules. And she's like, you just have to feel it. And I was like, oh, that's what we're doing?
I mean,
so
let me tell you,
just kind of silly.
I saw this breakdown of like what Tenet means and like all the stuff behind like that. I forget what they called. There was the stone and like there's people that like the names that there's this. Anyway, there's like all this stuff that really like fascinating stuff that I found actually more fascinating than the movie behind Tenet. And I was like, man, you really went deep for a movie that was like to not be very clear in this movie. Like, I was like,
well, look, I mean, half the clarity problems in that movie is the thing that Christopher Nolan is into, where he's like, you don't have to hear the dialogue. Like there's a scene where the main villain and the main hero are on a sailboat together, and it's very loud. It's a catamaran or something, and like they're doing the thing where you are basically are leaning off the side. You're strapped. You're tied in, but you're leaning off the side of the ship as it's turning and whatever. And that's a scene where Kenneth Branagh really explains, like, I'm the bad guy. Here's my plan. Here's what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. If you don't turn the subtitles on, you don't even know that conversation is happening. Never mind what it is. And so that kind of stuff is really annoying. This movie was the opposite. It didn't really have anything explicitly to say.
Yeah.
Which made the ending expanding like that more confusing.
I know, you were like, okay, well, it's like I had this whole idea in my head, like where like even if they would have just kept things going the way that it was and had them go off in a boat, to me, that would have been better than switching things up at the very end. Even though that wouldn't necessarily have been the most satisfying ending, I felt like it would have been a better ending, because then I can sort of infer things. I can kind of, sometimes I like kind of like you using working out like headcanon, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
sure.
after the credits roll, and then I'm like, okay, well maybe this is how it happened. This is what they were trying to say, and that and I kind of felt like they threw a monkey wrench in that by all of a sudden switching it up, and now I'm like, well, now I don't know how to feel about this movie now that it's over.
Well, the problem is also that then when the movie does something like that, is that because the movie wanted to throw us a twist and the directors made a just deliberate storytelling decision
Yeah.
because it has some meaning that's not clear to me? Or was he just like, let's make it big? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think something else that's interesting about this to take away, and I'm going to trust that this is not what the director was going for, but depending on who you make the protagonist in this movie, like if you were to change it up and make like some type of change to who the actual protagonist is, I don't mean other characters, I mean like whether they are male or if they were female, if they were black, if they were some other like ethnicity, I feel like there's a weird sort of subtext going on where you have, like in this case, there could be sort of this conservative coding to this. It's a white guy where he's a white guy. There's all these forces out there that are sort of, but could you imagine how that would be different if it was, the story would have been like from, say Margot was the main character, or if it would have been a character that was black, or
he's not a white guy.
What?
He's not white.
What do you mean he's not white?
Isn't Karim Leklou? That's a Middle Eastern name, isn't it?
No.
Really?
Yeah, that's not Middle Eastern. That's definitely his last name's definitely French.
Okay.
But I'm saying though, but think about that and think about what if you had somebody else, how that kind of changes just like the overall what is this movie, if you were trying to break it down and say what is this movie actually trying to say.
What's
now,
it about?
I don't think
yeah,
that's what he was trying to say. I don't think there's any over.
He's half Algerian.
Okay, well, but anyway, the point I was trying to say is that he is, if you had someone else in there, I mean, and obviously I understand that could work for any movie, except that there's a particular scenario that's presented in this movie, a premise to this movie that does make it sort of like the whole reason for like what we're doing this month, where it's the idea of the hunted protagonist. It does kind of come across like whoever you put in there, you slot in there as the protagonist. It is this person that is fighting against on all sides. Because this guy is like, he's driven from his home for no fault of his own. He is. There's sort of like things, like I said, sort of like that almost could be considered like conservative coded. I just a thought that occurred to me, like, if this was a woman, I think we might be talking about like, what does this say about like the patriarchy? You know what I mean? Like, I think that, or if it was, the main character was black, we'd probably be talking like, metaphors for racism,
right,
and that sort of thing.
Like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. So that's just something that I
mean, a zombie movie is easy to put social commentary into.
Sure.
And this does the problem. What you're saying makes a lot of sense, because basically the movie is like set up to do that, but then doesn't make it clear what it's doing. It's doing something. It's not. It's not trying to mean nothing. I just don't know what it means.
I know. I wish I really could have. I really would have liked to see more stuff about like the Sentinel like online community thing. I mean, how do you make that compelling? I mean, people can do it. Directors can do it. Like, you can make stuff that, interactions online a little more compelling. I'm sure it's certainly more challenging. Nobody wants to sit there and watch people like texting back and forth. I did like how they did like for some of the interactions that he was having with Joaquin. They did some audio stuff, they did some video stuff to kind of switch it up. It wasn't you just, because I hate that when I'm watching that, like I'm sitting here, I'm pausing it. Because some of that stuff was when he was doing the text in the very beginning when he first joins the website. I had to pause. I read slow. I'm pausing like, okay, what did he say? Because
You know,
a couple of
it
was
is fast.
by fast, and I'm like, what the hell? What are they saying?
Plus, it's so weird. Why is he doing it in English?
There was something else that was I was like, oh, they obviously put that in for American. I can't remember what it was now, but anyway, that's a yeah. So that was I'm trying to think. Was there anything else? I mean, obviously, I think we're in agreement. The second half of the movie definitely is like I just felt like but for me personally, I felt like probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, I probably feel like there was more, it had more potential based on the first half than you did, maybe. I don't know. But I think we're both in agreement the second half was not.
I think a lot of viewers feel that way.
You think
That
so?
the second half. No, I mean, just.
No, I don't
The
disagree
second half
with you.
doesn't feel the same as the first half. I didn't love the first half, but it definitely still felt downhill.
I definitely feel like
something.
the very last, once they get into that, like the car, the traffic jam there, like from that point on. Although I did have to say I was relieved, because if that guy is still in the trunk of the car, then he can kind of just say, it wasn't me. I didn't put that guy in there.
Well, he doesn't remember doing it. He doesn't remember attacking him. So the guy in the trunk could be like, I don't understand why I'm here at all.
Dead.
Well, now, yeah. But he I don't understand.
That's
like,
true.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to kill him.
Well, I think when the guy saw him, because remember he opens up the. That's why he has to.
Right.
Up.
But that's all. But he's in the tank. He's in the trunk. He doesn't have to be in the trunk. He could have
He
left him in.
Closed it and just say, "Hey, you got."
Could have left him in the duty. So I actually thought he was going to bury him in the shit pit.
I know. I was
which
too.
would like they're going to clean that up and then they'd find the body. So I was like, oh, this is a guy who's not good at this.
Worse than death.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can't think that there is anything. I think I said this already about the way I came across this was in Halloween, about how there was AMC theaters had this thing for Halloween 2025 where it was the show. It was a movie called Hollow Road. And I think that was Hallow, not Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Hallow.
And
it was a double feature and distributed through XYZ Films. And they were just like, oh, this is a... And I was like, oh, this is... I think what got me was the scene where he's trying to prove to Margot that he's like, this is really happening. And he's like... I love the guy, he goes up to the guy. There's a guy in the parking lot. He's trying to get him to look. He said, look at me. And the guy's like, no, man, get away.
Well, I can't tell if that guy... Because it was shot from her perspective, so it was at a distance. I couldn't tell if the guy looked at him and it just didn't happen, because not everybody looked at him and it happened, at least at first. Or if the guy was like, "You're weirding me out. I'm really not going to look at you," and so it didn't get triggered.
But once he
goes in the store, it's funny. It's funny.
I know.
Well, it's funny, and then it's scary because they cover the car.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's funny because if you look at the still of that, the diversity of everybody, all the different things that people are wearing. Like there's one guy, like I guess he's like the manager of the store. He's got like a tie on, and there's like a kid like in a.
Oh, that's funny.
It's the because those are the two like stills that I've seen for the movie. It's that one, and then there's the one with him holding up the hammer before he hits the guy.
Got it.
So anyway, but that's that's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, I wasn't a terrible movie. I probably not like a movie I'm going to say, oh, you should buy this, or this would definitely be one of those movies that if I was just sitting around and I still had cable and it came on, I might watch it, maybe. I don't even know, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's I didn't completely hate it, so but that's pretty much it. That's all I have for Vincent Must Die.
Yeah, well, I have something else about this movie.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That made me very angry.
Yes.
And if I had seen it in the theater, I would have been even more angry.
What's that?
The movie was released in English only.
Oh, yes.
I prefer to watch a French film or any foreign language film in the original language with subtitles. It was released in the theaters only in English. And when I rented it, I just presumed that it would be a choice of languages.
Yeah.
But when I started to watch it, it was just in English with no other choices.
Yes.
So I called Amazon and I said, hey guys, I rented, I guess, the wrong thing. They did that to me once before with Shin Godzilla. I rented it, and it's a Japanese movie, and the dub, it was just in English, and I called them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, sorry, it's not clear. Like, you could search for stuff, and there's 5 different entries or whatever." So they switched it. So I talked to Daniel, who honestly could have been an AI. I don't know. Not that he was unfriendly. Or tried to steal my human soul and identity or anything, but he looked and he said, "Yeah, unfortunately, it's only in English." And so, he like, "You can have your money back." And I was like, "Well, I have to watch it for show business because we have an episode." But then I started watching it, and something had been bothering me, and then I figured out what I thought was happening, and then it was happening. They used AI in the movie to change the mouth movements of the actors so that they looked like they were speaking the English dub that you were hearing.
I was wondering about that because I thought...
And it may also be the dub itself may be AI because it's something called True Sync from Flawless AI. Okay. And it was distracting and infuriating because everybody who's talking has a CGI mouth. The dub is not a good dub, and it also, the audio mix always sounds less than with a dub anyway, because there's no location sound unless you add something. And so it made me really angry that I was watching so much less than what the movie was supposed to be. That it was a deliberate choice to, I guess, make it more accessible to an audience that speaks English, but the whole thing was horrendous. And AI in movies seems to basically be like, let's take a movie like Terminator 2 and put it out on 4K disc, and James Cameron is really into using AI and has a whole company to do this. And his goal is like, let's make a movie that came out, that I made 40 years ago, look like it came out today, which means they use AI to smooth the crap out of everything. And Schwarzenegger looks like his face is made of clay. And it's a movie shot on film that was shot in the first couple of years of the 90s. I don't need it to look like anything other than that. And now they're using AI to make the dubs and to change the mouths like it's everybody's in Babe the movie, except the it's not as well done. Like, it was very distracting and annoying, and also it put a very big barrier between me and the experience of the movie, both just as me wanting to watch the movie, but also what I was feeling because of that is not what the director intended.
Sure.
So that was very frustrating.
I agree with you. Now, one of the things that, and it's funny because I was like, wow, I said they must be doing it, because I wasn't really looking at their mouths, and it didn't even occur to me that maybe this could be AI. Now that you say that, makes perfect sense, because I was thinking, I was like, wow, I said, the dub of this, they're doing a pretty good job dubbing the voices. Well, no wonder. It's because they were manipulating the images, and I didn't realize that. Yeah. And the it really does remind me of what I had to suffer through, because back in the day, like when I was in high school, being a big John Woo fan, and the only way, watching VHS of movies like The Killer and Hard Boiled is that you had to watch dubbed versions. There was no because you didn't have like the multi tracks and everything like that, so you had to watch it, and that was and it was always very frustrating to me because it takes away.
Thanks, Harvey Weinstein.
It just takes away from the overall experience.
It takes away from the performance that the actor was giving.
Takes away from the performance.
Not just the voice, but the
100%.
Everything. It was the only time I might tolerate a dub is if it's an animated film. Mm-hmm. But even because I'm not going to get distracted by lip sync stuff. But still, if I'm watching, I don't know, Spirited Away or something, if they have an all-star cast do the dub, I am genuinely curious about it. Yeah. But I'd rather watch the original cast with subtitles because that's what the movie is. Yeah. This was so far beyond not delivering that. XYZ Films, I think it's really disappointing that they did that.
I don't know why. I don't know why. What was the? I mean, like, to them, it would have been simpler to just release it in French with English subtitles. Like, I mean, that's what I would have thought. I mean, if you're going to use AI, if you don't want to have somebody type it out, use AI to do the captions, and then have somebody go in and clean it up afterwards.
Well, that's the whole point of AI. Is, you're going to pay somebody to check its work, and they're doing less and less of that. Oh, AI can cure cancer. Then you really should check its work.
Yeah, really.
You absolutely 100% should check its work.
That's how you get zombies.
That's right. That's right. See, that's why our impending apocalypse is going to be the dumbest possible version of all of these things. AI isn't going to become Skynet or the machines in the Matrix, and come to life
It's
and fight for survival.
It's going to be robots
dumb,
making tentacle porn,
right?
novels.
And it's going to be dumb shit. And social media, which is already bad enough, at least it will not have people anymore. It'll just be AI yelling at each other. So I feel like this movie, I didn't love the movie just as a movie in general, but that was, and I feel that I feel unfair assessing the movie as a movie because my reaction to this, what I just said, is so strong that it made me very angry and it made me very frustrated with the experience of watching the movie. And the only way that you can get the French dub in America, you can buy the disc from Kino Lorber, which has the original language track and English subtitles, or you can, I spent $6 to rent it. You can buy the movie on Fandango at home or Now or whatever the hell they're calling it. And it comes with extras. And one of the extras is the French dub version. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And knowing them, they took the English version and then they did a new dub in French with French mouth action. So like it's so frustrating.
No, yeah. Now that you say that, I was thinking, it's funny that you said that because I was going to actually mention that. I was like, I thought the dub was actually not too bad, and I just never thought to really like pay attention closely to their mouths.
I mean, I thought the dub was bad because 99.99% of dubs are just
that's
really
true. I mean
that's
I mean I was being generous because I don't like dubs in general, but
I mean the way that they did it and then the mouth thing.
How dare they?
It's not like a, I'm offended, let's have a dual XYZ films. It's so stupid and it feels like a specific kind of lazy, and you also didn't give me a choice.
Yeah.
I spent my money to watch your movie. Every movie that I see, I want to be the best thing I've seen yet of any movie. Like I give movies a chance. Like I'm excited that it could be interesting. The premise of it sounded interesting and everything, and they didn't give me that option.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I could have called Amazon and said, "Give me back my $5.99 or whatever." But again, the show must go on. I wanted to watch the movie, so I watched the movie.
So well,
thanks AI.
You had that experience.
You ruined that too. Don't look in my eyes, AI. I'll fuck you up.
Right. Well, then I would say that's a wrap on Vincent Must Die. And we're going to be back next week to close out Psycho Summer with the movie Normal with Bob Odenkirk and Arthur Fonzarelli himself, Henry Winkler, who's always a treat to see.
Well, I've met him, and he is a super sweet, funny guy.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a very silly story. And he used a naughty word and everything. So he's a good time.
That'll be offline.
No, I'll tell you on the show. It's not. It doesn't.
You mean next week? I
yeah,
got you. Save
it's
it,
not
It's not.
Yeah, next week when we record our next episode because we record this week to week.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we have the Story Punk podcast pods that we stay in. That we sleep in.
Oh yes,
and they're actual pods. They're much like the Outland, like like the little pods.
Yes, we're in space right now as well.
Exactly. Well, that's how they can cool the data centers.
Now, see,
for AI,
if they were in orbit,
it's all coming back around.
If they were in orbit, that would make more sense.
Yeah, well,
you're a trillionaire. Why don't you leave my drinking water?
But water's free. So
yeah, right.
So it's better to do that instead of stalling fans.
Just get all the water you need out of the septic tank spill. It's fine. Not for me, for the robots.
What do you think about that? The cat's I think the cat is ready to attack. Anyway, hey, follow if you enjoy this podcast, if you like this broadcast on NPR. No, if you enjoyed this, follow us on your favorite podcast, not podcast.
Oh my God, are you okay?
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's okay. We'll have AI do your dub and
thank
post.
You.
It'll be fine.
Follow us on your favorite podcast platform or directly at storypunk.com, and you can put www in there. I don't know why I keep forgetting to say that, but you guys at this point,
because it's
2026. You guys know to put www in front of it. We're also on Instagram at StoryPunkPod, and you can check out our Facebook page for updates. It's just Storypunk Podcast, so it's easy to find. Hey, we're also on Letterboxd. I'm Storypunk Scott, and Drew is also on Letterboxd.
I'm Solid Gould.
Yes, he is. And with that, now that we're done with French AI.
With Vincent doit mourir.
Exactly. I know. I took Spanish.
I know. So, gracias.
Yeah, muchos gracias. That's what happens when you roll around on your front lawn naked. Anyway, and with that, I will say, remember, story matters.